Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Ailey and today's video is going to be something a little bit different. Today I actually wanted to, it's something that just totally popped into my head. I was watching some of Shane Dawson's videos and that's what gave me the sort of idea, well not the idea, but it reminded me that this happens to me and I kind of thought it would be cool to share my experience. So today's video, we're going to talk all about my experiences with sleep paralysis. Now, if any of you know what sleep paralysis is, it's horrifying. It is just the most horrible experience on the planet. So I think I'm kind of like in a place now. I haven't actually had it in a while, touch wood. Really haven't had it in a while, so I really hope that I don't get it again, but you never know. It happened to me a lot. Anyway, so what is, if you don't know what it is the body, or your body is still immobilized because you're still asleep. When you go into REM sleep, which is the stage of sleep when you dream, your body makes sure that you can't move, because obviously, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you jolt in your sleep and stuff like that. That's kind of like the same sort of idea as the chemical imbalance is a wee bit off and your body is actually waking up before your mind is. This is the opposite way. Your mind actually wakes up before your body does. So your body's still immobilized. It's still technically paralyzed. To an extent. You can sometimes still move your fingers and your toes and stuff like that, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, it shows that you don't act out your dreams. A lot of people do like sleepwalking, things like that, but for the most part, you know, generally your body kind of controls you, makes sure that you don't go walking off the roof of your house or something like that. So I always found that sleeping on my back triggered it, and that is a trigger for a lot of people. So my experiences, some of them were really freaky. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of them in this video, but if you do want to hear about the rest of them, you can always leave me a comment and I will make a part 2 of this video. You're kind of drifting between wakefulness and REM sleep. So essentially what your body's doing is it's still dreaming, but you're aware. But basically, people describe a feeling of like pressure on their chest or on their body, a feeling of being really heavy. That's not always happened to me, but that's the general idea, and I think it's just because you can't move, you just feel crushed. That's where like the photos of like the devil sitting on people's chests, demons and things like that, and ghosts and stuff like that, I think all comes into it. But I can't actually remember if this is the first time I ever experienced it, but it's like the first one I can remember. I was lying in bed, and after I fell asleep, my bed was sort of like here and my door is here, so my bed faces like away from my door and it's off to the side. You can't actually see my bedroom door from my bed, or you couldn't at that time anyway. And I was lying asleep, or I thought I was awake and I was just lying in bed, but I was actually asleep and I could hear people in my hallway. Now, what's really weird about it is it's voices that I recognised, which I don't know if that makes it creepier or if that makes it less creepy, but it was very similar to like my mum's voice and my sister's voice. And the voices were saying things like, I think she's in there. Yeah, I think this is her one. Almost as if I was in a hotel and like I was sharing my hotel room with somebody and they were like, I think it's this room here, kind of thing. It was so creepy. I had like the pressure feeling on my chest and I could literally hear these voices, and that was kind of like the only things that I could pick out that they were saying, but it was literally like two people that were looking for someone, and they didn't sound scary at all. They sounded just normal. It was really, really strange. And because it was like a hearing thing rather than a seeing thing, I was really freaked out by it. I was like, and I'm pretty sure I could hear somebody breathing as well, but I didn't know if it was just like the same sort of thing. That instance, I actually managed to sort of roll myself over, so I rolled myself away from the door, and when I rolled myself over, I sort of pulled myself out of it, and I can just manage to go to sleep again. I think when it's less scary, it's easier to pull yourself out of it and just go back to sleep, because you don't start to panic. When you start to panic, that's when it starts to get worse. I woke up once and I was on my side facing away from my bed, so like my double bed, and like I'm on this side facing this way, and like my bedside table and all that was beside me. So I'm lying there and I'm asleep, and in the middle of the night I could hear somebody say my name. And now it wasn't like in a normal sort of voice, it was like an Ayley. It was really, it was horrible, but it was like, it was my name. So what's your automatic response if somebody whispers your name to you when you're sort of half asleep? Is you open your eyes. Now I opened my eyes and there was a face right there. Now if you can imagine, I was asleep and it was like right in front of my face, right next to my bed. I have never in my life been so terrified. It wasn't even like a face that I recognised, it was just a face. I could hear and feel breathing, and it was like my body didn't want to do anything, so I really, really slowly like reached up. And I mean, I reached up and this thing was right in front of me. I reached up like over the top of it and put on my bedside light, and there was nothing there. And I didn't blink, I didn't look away, there was just nothing there. It was almost as if, I don't know, it was really weird, because that's the first time that I've ever moved and not pulled myself out of it. So it was almost like me putting the light on was me pulling myself out of it. That's something I've never heard before, so that really, really freaked me out. Normally, like when you pull yourself out of it, they disappear, but this thing was like right in my face. It was terrifying. It wasn't like a scary looking thing, it was just like, it was as if there was a person in my room, they knelt down next to my bed and they sat right in front of my face and whispered my name to me and woke me up. It wasn't like a scary demon face or anything like that, it was a person. It was creepy because it was sort of like a shadowy person, but it was a person. I mean, that one was, I was lying on my side, so it was kind of weird. But I've had ones where I've been lying flat on my back. FYI, I don't sleep on my back anymore. Not if I can help it anyway. But I've had ones where I've been like lying on my back and I've looked down and there has been somebody like laying on top of me, or like, you know, crawling up me. That one was not pleasant at all. I think I dreamt that I lifted the covers and they were under the covers, but I know I didn't lift the covers. It's something really strange like that. I've had people standing at the foot of my bed, I've had people standing in the corner of my room. Generally when that happens, I just try and ignore it, or like I incessantly open my eyes and keep checking if they're getting any closer to me. But generally I just try and pull myself out of it, but most of the time it is kind of short-lived. It doesn't go on and on and on and on and on. Generally it doesn't last that long, and you can sort of pull yourself out of it. You can't talk, you can't make any noise. So like if I was sleeping and there was somebody in the bed next to me, I can actually sort of tell them that it's happening, because they could, I suppose, pull you out of it by waking you up. But it's, if you've experienced it, I would love to know what your experiences were. Leave them in the comment section below. But that, for now, is all the ones I can remember. If I racked my brain, I could probably think of the details from the other ones a little bit better. But I think it's kind of one of these mysterious ones. Like, I don't think that doctors and scientists really know why it happens. There is definitely like a medical reason for it. It's like your body is doing it medically. So the things that you're seeing, I mean, I know some people believe that it's ghosts and the paranormal and things like that. I don't know how much I believe that, but it's like chemicals in your brain. You're hallucinating those things. I think that's why if I hear voices, I tend to recognise them, because I don't think I could really make up a voice in my head, whereas a face, you know, you may have seen it years and years ago and it's still ingrained in your memory and you can see another face, or like a figure, you can kind of make that out of thin air, but voices is quite difficult. So I think that the reason that I hear like my mum's voice or my sister's voice, or, you know, whoever's voice, is because I hear their voices a lot and I know what they sound like. So yeah, it's not a nice experience. But if you know, I will say, if it happens to you, if you know about it and you kind of explore it a little bit more and learn a little bit more of the science behind it, it doesn't make it as scary, and you can kind of find ways to pull yourself out of it. So it doesn't really freak me out as much now. But I mean, like the first time it happened and any other time it's happened since, I do sleep with the lights on afterwards. Just because like shadows can play tricks on your eyes at the best of times. So if you're having like something like that, if you've got a light room, it doesn't tend to happen. So yeah, I'm not really ashamed of that. If you woke up and there was somebody lying on your chest, I'm sure you can sleep with the lights on too. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. If you have experienced it, obviously leave it in the comment section below. If you think it's a bunch of baloney, then I don't know. go and check out some of my makeup videos instead. If you did enjoy this video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I do post videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Usually they are beauty related, but I do throw in the occasional different kind of video for you. So hopefully I will see you soon. Bye!